Good evening, and welcome to Historically Black Sense News, where HBCU pride and Black Greek excellence take center stage.
That's right. I'm Deuce Tucker, a proud Florida A&M University alum.
And I'm Heaven Cunningham, the 53rd Miss Cheyney University of Pennsylvania.
Now, tonight's lineup is packed. Now, let's get into it.
Let's start out with my favorite Bears, Morgan State University, and give them their flowers because they just made Emmy Award history.
That's right. Morgan State earned their first ever individual Emmy Award for their original documentary, History of a National Treasure, produced by the university's own Center for New Media and Strategic Initiatives.
Yes, the film explores Morgan's powerful legacy and impact, and now they got an Emmy to prove it.
Another Emmy goes to History of a National Treasure, Morgan State University's Center for New Media.
Yes, congratulations again to my favorite Bears. And while we're talking wins, some HBCU sisters are slaying both the runway and the sneaker game. Yes, shout out to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated at Bowie State and Morgan State for starring in Under Armour's new Sisterhood in Style campaign.
Now, this campaign dropped in honor of their new pink and green eco sneaker, and the spotlight on Black sorority sisterhood is everything. Now, from sneaker drops to sky-high innovation, next up, we're into the skies with Hampton University. Now, starting this fall,
AKAs are dominating the fashion industry currently.
A secret agent, a secret agent, 007, you can
Come on, Under Armour.
This is Freedom of Key, where we keep it real, move with a purpose, and speak truth no matter who's listening. Now let's get into it. Did y'all know that the AKAs are dominating the fashion industry currently? Under Armour launched a new cultural campaign in partnership with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. The campaign titled Sisterhood in Style was filmed at two HBCUs, Bowie State and Morgan State University, and highlights the legacy and presence of Black sorority life on college campuses. Baltimore-based photographer and activist Devin Allen directed the shoot. He's widely recognized for capturing images that reflect Black culture, protests, and identity. Organizers say that the campaign is more than just fashion. It's a celebration of identity, legacy, and sisterhood at HBCUs. Alpha Kappa Alpha's collaboration with Under Armour marks a growing trend in brands spotlighting HBCU culture and the lasting influence.
wow, okay, Bowie State and Morgan State, back to back, they're doing some things up there, okay? I love it. And while we're speaking about HBCU excellence, as I said, we're heading to the skies with Hampton University. Now, starting this fall, HU is introducing a new Bachelor of Science in Aviation Management with a focus on uncrewed aerial systems, aka drone tech.
Okay, drone tech. Yes, these students will gain their pilot license, work on national projects, and if FAA approved, they will join an elite network of the UAS education.
Now, only Hampton, Texas Southern, and Elizabeth City State offer this specific drone focus track. Yeah, so HBCUs are taking over the skies and the ground. But okay, you all, from the skies to across the seas, our HBCUs are truly international. That's right. Morgan State is once again making history.
Bears.
Morgan State, well, them Bears, they're talking about something today. This time at the Venice Architecture Biennale. Their band performed during Art Night Venezia, and their School of Architecture debuted a solo pavilion.
They're believed to be the first HBCU to ever lead a solo pavilion at the Biennale. That's global Black brilliance on full display.
Absolutely, absolutely. And since we're speaking of brilliance, Beyonce is giving back in a major way.
Okay, Beyonce. After performing at the Beyonce Bowl, Texas Southern University's Ocean of Soul band just received $100,000 from B's Be Good Foundation. $100,000. Okay.
That's some money on. Now, that money supports both musical excellence and academic success. TSU is marching forward with even more momentum.
Yes, congratulations to Texas Southern. We know that you will do that 100K right. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, those are some beautiful segments. Again, shout out to my Bears. But to close out our news tonight, we're turning the spotlight on one legendary founder of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Now, that's right. Now, Dr. Ernest Everett Just was a pioneering biologist, published scientist, and one of the founders of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
Yes, he graduated from Dartmouth, taught at Howard, and became the first head of Howard's zoology department. A real one in every single way.
Omega Man.
Yes. We see you. Now, let's swiftly and kindly shift over to our favorite host, Shamai, who's standing by with 3 very special guests tonight.
Good evening, Headband, and good evening, Deuce. How you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing amazing. Love from the first HBCU.
Of course.
I'm well blessed and black, brother. That's always a blessing.
Always a blessing. Thank you. Thank you. Our first guest tonight is a pediatric dentist that is a Tennessee State University and Howard University alumna. Please welcome Dr. Tamara Marable to the show.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hello, doctor. They called you Dr. Tam.
Yes.
I was told. First of all, thank you so much for coming on the show tonight. How are you doing tonight?
I'm well, and how are you?
I'm well as well. I mean, let's jump right into your amazing career. You are a dedicated pediatric dentist. You have your own practice, but you're a native of Valdosta, Georgia. But you're not just any old dentist. You're legendary. You are I will say a generational dentist with your family. You are proud of you continuing your legacy, your family's legacy, being the 10th dentist in your family.
Yes.
Can you talk about why was it so important to carry on the legacy of your family, continuing being a dentist?
Yeah, absolutely. I first would like to say I am a proud 2-time HBCU alum of Tennessee State, the Tennessee State University, and Howard University College of Dentistry. But to your point, I am very proud and stand in gratitude to be the 10th dentist in my family. Why it's so important to me is because really the legacy and foundation of that of my grandfather, who valued education, definitely growing up in the rural South Georgia area and was not afforded the opportunity of higher education. He preached, family, education, and faith to his children, 10 children. All 10 of my dad and his siblings were able to attend college, 8 of which attended Fort Valley State University, which is the HBCU. And my uncle was afforded the opportunity to go into dental school and be the first dentist in the family. And he used dentistry and healthcare and serving the community to teach and forge ahead the principles that were laid by my grandparents, but then in a space of healthcare. So for me as a 2nd generation dentist and the 10th dentist in my family, it's really important to represent the 4% of African Americans that make up our profession, but show how well Black professionals and Black healthcare professionals care for our patients and can inspire the next generation, and why it's important for little ones to see faces like myself.
Now, what did you learn being at these HBCUs? Being at Tennessee State, then going to Howard University. What did you learn about not just about studies, but what did you learn about yourself?
I learned the importance of, I already, had a nice foundation of family and community, but I learned the importance of networking and community and having that, support system to kind of catapult you to the next level. And that can come not only from family, but friends and your institution. It's really empowering to have attended Tennessee State and Howard University, where you can see the president, the professors, the department chairs, who look like you, who support you and tell you on a daily basis that you can do it. And I really believe that is a difference maker, and the importance of HBCUs in our communities, because it's inspirational, it's life changing, it's generational changing. It allows for a foundation of legacy, and it starts with us. And so when you are around people who support you, who know your experience and know your background, I think your capabilities are endless.
Now, was it like before even going to college, was it like your destiny? Were you like, or you felt like you were obligated to carry on the family legacy of being a dentist? Or did you like say, well, I really want to study medicine and be a dentist?
It truly happened naturally. The only thing that it was required in my family and in my household is that we had to attend the HBCU.
Okay.
So I'm actually one of three. My older sister is an attorney, and she attended Howard University for undergrad, and my younger sister is a neuroscientist who attended North Carolina A&T. So my experience, we all grew up in my dad's practice, but I really saw firsthand his connection to the community, his connections to his patients, his ability to be an advocate in our community. And in our hometown, he was the only African-American dentist for years. I believe now it's still only one. And I saw firsthand how much that was just a community game changer. And so for me, I naturally saw his ability to care for patients, and it spoke to me and my personality. And I wanted to emulate that and carry that on.
Now you are the founder and owner, not just you just founded. You're the owner. You're a Black business owner of Tiny Roots Pediatric Dental Studio. What went into that to have your own practice?
Oh my goodness, a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work, but a true labor of love. I had a chance to be an associate for a few years before I opened my own practice, but the steps that it took to learn the actual business of dentistry. There's the healthcare side, but there also is the act of doing business of dentistry. And just being afforded that opportunity and, using the different resources made available to me to find the ideal location and learning marketing and all of those experiences. And then most importantly, I get to empower my community and hire young people who need an opportunity and get to work for a doctor who actually cares and treat them with respect. So all that was really important to me, to create an environment and a practice that I'm proud of, to foster a culture that really represents me and my family and one that I could stand on.
Can you talk about any inspiration you would give somebody who wants to go into the medical field or be a dentist? What some information or advice you would give to them before we let you know?
I would say find a mentor. I actually had a young lady who walked in today who was a student at Clark Atlanta and said she saw me on social media and she wanted the opportunity to shadow. So I think being, outspoken, taking the initiative, and advocating for yourself. And if you don't know, it's okay not to know, but the best thing you can do is, attach yourself to someone and ask for help, ask for guidance. And people are out there who want to see you succeed. And you have a community of people who will support you.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Tam. We appreciate you coming to the show at Historically Black Sense News. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you all for having me. And you all don't forget to check out Tiny Roots in Atlanta.
Yes. And make sure we floss, right?
Yes, make sure you floss as well. Thank
you so much. Our next guest is an Oakwood University alum and the founder of HBCU STEM Education Run LLC. Please welcome Danielle Lewis to the show. Hello, Ms. Lewis. Sorry.
Hello. Good evening. How's everyone doing?
I'm well. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. Let's start here. You were inspired. You're an engineer, right? And you were inspired by your mom to become an engineer and pursue your passion to be an engineer. Why did your mom inspire you to be an engineer?
Yeah, as while she was in the workforce and while she was working, she would tell me oftentimes how she was the only Black woman, and this is in the 80s or whatever. She was the only Black woman there working in her office, basically, and definitely the only Black female engineer. As an electrical engineer, she was out there dealing with fiber optic cables and all this kind of hands-on work. And so when she showed me a picture of everyone that was in her office and just her standing out as the only Black woman in that office, I was just, inspired to be able to make a difference and choose that path as well, so that I could increase the number of Black women in engineering. And it's increasing. It's definitely increasing, but it wasn't uncommon for me still, while I was working, to be one of the only Black women engineers in the building. So it definitely needs to increase. And the work that the HBCUs are doing now to bring more light and fund more women into joining science, technology, engineering, and math. It's been incredible. It's been growing for sure.
Now, you attended, like I said in the intro, you attended Oakwood University, but it took you through a dual degree program with the University of Alabama at Huntsville.
Yes.
Talk about the challenges and the perks that it provided you from being in an HBCU environment to a PWI environment.
Yeah, for sure. So, attending Oakwood, it's a small HBCU in Huntsville, Alabama, having the benefit of more intimate settings with the professors, to be able to go to their office hours and not feel like I was just a number, or when I had questions about what this new program is going to be with this partner school that we had, they were always available and willing to assist me. And especially coming from a small town of Pell City, I knew I wanted to go to college, but just being in that kind of environment, a bigger environment, kind of away from home, did make me somewhat anxious. So I feel like having a smaller HBCU, a tighter knit HBCU to call home for the first 3 years of my college education was extremely beneficial to me. It's where I made some of my lifelong friends, fellow engineers as well that have gone on to work in industry, and I stay connected with. And then on the flip side, attending a PWI, so attending University of Alabama in Huntsville, it did help me kind of ease the culture shock of going from this, all Black institution, kind of a stepping stone into a PWI before going into, a field full of, to be honest, mostly white men. So I think that was also beneficial from a technical side of things. That's where I got most of my engineering credits, deep diving into structural analysis or heat and mass transfer. All of the technical engineering skills that I acquired from that program allowed me to be successful in my career, as an engineer. So I definitely benefited from both sides of both sides of the coin, if you will. But yeah, definitely a proud HBCU alumni.
Now, a lot of people don't do this, and you did. You graduated debt free.
Yes.
Okay, debt free, no loans, no money you had to pay back to Sally Mae, to anybody.
No.
But it wasn't easy though. Your mom advocated for you to apply to scholarships and stuff. Can you give some people some advice on doing research on scholarships, or trying to find money to pay for college? What is your advice to people who are trying to find funds to go get their education?
Yeah, so I'll share the same advice that my mentor told me. You should not be paying for school. So when he told me that, it just kind of flipped a light bulb in my head of I need to be intentional about applying for scholarships. Even though, as students, anyone watching this, as students, you're there to work on your coursework and study and whatnot. But a complement to that is applying for scholarships. Treat that like your job while you're in school. Being intentional about applying for scholarships will allow you the financial peace of mind to actually be able to study for your classes, and and put in that extra effort into your coursework, rather than having a job off campus or something that would be distracting to you. So sorry. Something that would be distracting to you. So definitely treat applying to scholarships like a job. Make a list of the ones that are coming up. I always recommend UNCF, the United Negro College Fund. That's uncf.org. They have a lot of scholarships specifically for HBCU students. And then also, if you are in the STEM fields like I was, there's the National Society of Black Engineers, or NSBE.org. They give plenty of scholarships. And the very last bit of advice I'll give concerning scholarships is that you don't be the one to count yourself out. So, if you meet the criteria, if you're a senior in such and such major and, you have the GPA, just apply. Don't think, oh, they probably already selected someone, or, I don't know if I'm the best fit for this. That's the scholarship selection committee's job, not your job. So don't be the one to count yourself out. And definitely apply for those scholarships, and tune in with us as well. We give scholarships for HBCU students in STEM. So yeah.
Now in 2021, you turn your life dream into a reality. By founding HBCU STEM Education Run LLC. Mm-hmm. What was the process behind that, and why was it that time then to start that organization?
Yeah, so 2021, when COVID was happening and everything, I was feeling a little cramped up in sense of I like to run, I like to be active in the community as well. And so I wanted to participate in a 5K or in a run, and all of the options were virtual, like you could just go out on the sidewalk and run it. So I said, to be honest, I'm not paying money for something I could do myself. And so or something that is putting money into somewhere that I don't necessarily have a strong passion for. So I said, something that I do have a strong passion for is HBCUs and STEM. So science, technology, engineering, and math. And so I said, you know what, I can make my own. So I, rallied around my coworkers and other people in my network to tell them about this new company that I was starting, HBCU STEM Education Run, and invited them to join virtually. And so since then, we just completed our 5th annual 5K that happens in Huntsville every year. So it's grown from just virtual to now in person. We've grown even into, we've expanded. I can talk a little bit about this, expanded into Raleigh. We're doing a 5K in Raleigh. Anyone in Raleigh come?
Raleigh, North Carolina.
Raleigh, North Carolina. Yep, September 1st. And then also our Women in STEM Walkathon that we've expanded, which is an international event. And all of the previous anchors, they were talking about international HBCU presence, international HBCU excellence. And this is just a way where the, HBCU diaspora, all the alum that are all over the world can participate in a special way with the Women in STEM Walkathon. And that's specifically to raise scholarship funds for HBCU women in STEM local to Atlanta, Georgia. So, we're working with other local HBCUs to be able to host this event. And I'm really excited to bring that into a brighter light to share with the rest of the community.
Thank you so much for coming on. Like she said, if you're a STEM student, please join this, or go to the website so you guys can see the type of resources and all that jazz that they provide, because we need more diversity and people of color in the STEM field. So yeah, thank you so much.
That's correct. And can I drop the URL? So if anyone wants to participate or donate with the Women in STEM Walkathon, you can go to tinyurl.com/WISW25. That stands for Women in STEM Walkathon. Any donation or any ticket purchase will contribute to our scholarship fund for Atlanta HBCU Women in STEM. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Lewis. Thank you so much for coming on Historically Black Sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Our final guest tonight is a colleague of ours here at Historically Black Sense and the author of the new memoir called Inspiring Me Moments Living Out Loud with No Regrets. Please welcome Mr. Anthony Harris Brown show. Hello,
what's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm blessed, black, and highly favored. Thank you.
Come on, that's it right there. Listen, I tell everybody, I woke up this morning.
Yes, exactly.
I woke up this morning. Come on, somebody. Exactly. I woke up this morning for somebody who's sitting in the back of the room.
They don't hear you.
Damn, I'm here for it.
You seem like you're about to preach on tonight, but let's get into this conversation.
Come on, you better come on because listen.
First of all,
we cuts up. We cuts up.
Your book, Inspire Me Moments, Living Out Loud with No Regrets, right? If you call this book, it's not you. This is a direct quote. I'm gonna make sure I quote you correctly. Is it just a memoir? It's a mirror. It's a moment in a map. Talk about that. Why is it not just a memoir? What do those words mean to you?
So I say it's not just a memoir. So it is a collection of stories about my life, right? But you have to understand that in the midst of me telling the story, I'm also sharing with someone what it may be like if you have gone through a similar situation and how do you navigate this process, be it anxiety, depression, loss of job, divorce, fatherhood, abandonment issues, daddy issues, death, destruction, all of that. And so but then therapy, mental health is real. Now, mind you, I didn't do this all by myself, and it was a journey. Even the weight loss, you wouldn't even know this, bro. So the weight I used to carry, as in the book, I used to be 450 pounds.
Wow.
I sit before you today at 160. Wow. That part. But that didn't happen overnight. But I had to learn, I had to learn to love the 450 Anthony before I can get to this 160 Anthony. And I wasn't ready to do that at the time. I wasn't. I was struggling. I struggled with that. And so in the book, my daddy reminded me, even though me and my daddy had our issues, he had to remind me that no matter what, you gotta live out loud with no regrets. Things happen for a reason. What is that reason? And everything's gonna happen for a season, and everything's gonna happen at a certain time in your life. Reason, season, lifetime. Give up somebody. So, but don't get stuck there. How do you navigate and learn from that? And so now, while I'm now having learned and learning, the book is not just a memoir, but it's also a workbook. So there are some activities, there's some strategies that I'm like, okay, now that you've done the work, I need you to go back and answer some of these questions. And what does it mean to you? Let's do some introspective moments right now. Then after you've done that, how do you challenge another brother or another sister along the way? Then it becomes very interactive because in the book, you can actually scan these QR codes and you can go watch some video moments about how we even created this whole chapter.
Can you talk about your process of writing the book? Some of this stuff is traumatizing, like you talk about, the weight loss and you were addicted to alcohol. Can you talk about how did you relive that and what did you go through while writing your story to help other people?
Bruh, I did not want to relive it. Okay, so I'll be honest with you. So I had some very good friends and colleagues who pushed me along the way. Shout out to, I have to give love to my son first, Anthony the second. He was like, Dad, I need more. Like, what do you mean you need more? Like, I need more. I have a fraternity brother of mine. His name is Brad Bowling. He wrote my foreword. He's like, bruh, I need more. How dare you? I have my co-host on another podcast that we do, Dr. Monique Robinson. I need more. I have another colleague. Like everyone, like you like. First of all, then I interview. You tell a great story. And so because you tell a great story, I need for you to just give me just a little bit more. You just can't tell me about Red Lobster and the Cheddar Bay biscuits. I ain't gonna tell you what that means. You got to go back and read the book. But the idea is like, how do we get to the biscuits? And did you enjoy the biscuits in that moment? Hell no, I didn't enjoy them biscuits. But there was a moment, so I had to get more to the story. So really my process, I'll be honest with you with my process. This phone, well not this phone, but a phone. I would sit and I would record. I would just either, just do a video recording or an audio recording and just start talking to myself. That's part of my therapy. Listen, mental health is real. I keep telling you. I take 3 happy pills a day. I call them my happy pills because, listen, my therapist and my psychiatrist are some of my best friends. And because of that, I started to record these things and didn't realize, even like I would go back and look at an old YouTube video, old Facebook video, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've written the book already. I started writing this book back. I probably started writing the book back in 2021. 2022. I probably can go back further than that. Probably 2018. I started writing the book and didn't realize I was writing it because I was recording all these videos. I just took all the videos and transcribed them, and that became what I have here, all 300 pages. Right here is evidence.
What specific moment or experience made you realize that your mom and grandmother's, sacrifice had truly set a different path for many of your peers? And how does that, realization continue to influence through your work today?
Wow, that's a good... Man, that's a good one. Listen, because my mother and my grandmother were my everything. Because, I grew up as an only child, even though I have some siblings on my father's side, like the songwriter said, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Come on, somebody. Y'all know that song. Wherever he laid his hat. Come on.
It was his home.
That's the songs we get for Father's Day. But I'm so thankful that my grandmother and my mother kept me grounded in church. Kept me prayed up, even when I didn't think I could go to college, even when the other man who don't look like us just thought that maybe I shouldn't go to college and maybe I should get a job. And even my dad was like, well, maybe he shouldn't go to school either. And my mother said, I don't care what you did with your kids. I don't care what you did with them. This one right here, 1.9 GPA and all. Stuck on stupid and parked on dumb. Mama had to take out a second mortgage. I had to take remedial classes when I got to Bethune-Cookman. Yet, with all that, still graduated top of my class because I had that mama and that grandmama praying for me and trying to make it happen every which way, and I could not let them down.
You talk about Bethune-Cookman. What type of life lessons or issues or what did you learn about yourself at Bethune-Cookman?
Oh my gosh! So Bethune-Cookman not only changed my life, it saved my life. I know we all have our stories, and I tell the one about I had a professor, Dr. Marion Baker was her name. Listen, I loved her. I love me some Miss Baker. Miss Baker was that type of professor that would, how any HBCU, I always tell students, if I could be Steve Harvey for just a moment, and if we were playing Family Feud, and we got that one answer on the board, and the question is, who can be your best friend and your worst enemy in your household? And the only answer is your mama. Because no HBCU is going to treat you like your mama, but your mama. Miss Marion Baker became my mother. I decided one morning I was not going to go to my class because I wanted to watch Young and the Restless. Now, mind you, if you ever watched Young and the Restless back in the day, even
that's an hour and a half.
Listen, first of all, let me tell you, Young and the Restless was going down because the Victor Newman wore all black. If he had on all black, it's about to go down. Yep. And I was not going to miss it.
Still goes down right now to this day.
I watched it the other day, like he's still up to his shenanigans, still up to that foolishness. But anyway, I didn't want to miss my stories. Miss Baker called the dormitory, said, "What you doing?" I said, "Nothing." I didn't know it was her. I thought it was one of my classmates. Miss Baker said, "What you doing?" "Child, I ain't doing nothing. Watching Young and the Rest of Victor Newman wearing all black. It's about to go down." She said Negro. She didn't say Negro. She said, you got 5 minutes to get your black butt. Didn't say butt. To class. I said, the nerve of her. But you know I was in class in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
I needed that. Miss Baker was. Now I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. That's where I live. That's where I'm born and raised. I'm back in Cleveland now. Shout out to my job, Cleveland Metropolitan School District. But Miss Baker's from Columbus, which is about 2 hours away. So she knew how far it took for me to get from Cleveland to Daytona Beach, Florida. Your mama did not send you 1,000 miles away from home to watch no stories. Get your butt to class. I needed that. I needed that.
Now, you also are a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Yeah.
What type of relationships and being in this organization teach you as well?
Listen, so the brothers, oh my gosh, the brothers. Listen, and I told you earlier that I have 3 brothers prior to their, they all are now deceased. But I didn't really get to grow up with them that much, right? And I have a younger sister again. Told you my daddy, right? So, but and I ain't gonna tell you about the brothers that just showed up at the funeral back in 2018. Like I was like, so I got a brand new brother, but that's another story for another day. That's in the book. Got to buy the book. Anyway, but the fraternity gave me a sense of belonging because I'll be honest with you. Part of my growing up, I had an identity issue because of my strained relationship with my father and my father's family. And I didn't have a sense of identity. I think for me, being a part of the fraternity provided me with a sense of togetherness, a sense of identity, to help me understand who I am, whose I am, and where I need to go. And I had a village of men who look like me, who sound like me, who've gone through the same things that I've been through, who could be there to encourage me along the way.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Harris Brown, for coming on the show today. Where can people buy your book?
Listen, I hope I don't know if our producer director it can put it on the screen. However, you can go to my website at aharrisbrown.com. Again, that's aharrisbrown.com. There you go, right there. It's right there. You see it. You see it. It's right there. So, aharrisbrown.com. The link is in the chat. For hopefully, if not, you'll see it on the screen. You can go find out. You can buy the book on Amazon and Barnes and Noble right now. It's available. It just dropped May 30th. We did a full launch Father's Day weekend, and we are just out and about doing the 1, 2, and the 3, 4. I look forward to coming to Atlanta later on in the month of July. I might be doing a book signing. I ain't gonna tell them where I may pop up at any given day. And for those, shout out to all these young people who are doing HBSince news. Y'all, I'm so excited about being here today. Brother, you all are doing it. And then for those, if you want to come join us on Sunday, me and my co-host Shane, we took a quick summer recess, but we'll be back. So if you want to watch the HBCU Man Cave, where we come to relate, relax, and release all things about brotherhood and all for the cause, for the people, and for the culture. Check me out on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Thank you so much, Anthony Brown. Mr. Brown, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Not a problem.
I appreciate you. Well, that does it. Let's bring in Heaven and Deuce. The HBCU community has been making impressive international headlines recently, which is incredible, exciting to witness. We discussed Morgan State's groundbreaking achievements as the first HBCU to showcase a solo agricultural achievement, and then now Hampton University's choir is currently touring in London. Deuce, talk about what are you loving to see HBCUs in the international light? How do you like this?
Well, personally, I love it. I am appreciative of how we're actually able to adjust to the times where we're actually contributing to different communities, environments, atmospheres on who we are, what we stand for, and what we represent as a people. And not necessarily just as an individual, as a group. Being able to display to the world that being Black unapologetically is a gift and it's a blessing. And being able to also show them that we deserve to be with whatever room that we're in, not because of what we look like, but because of our brains. And I feel as if when it comes to the opportunities that we've been able to provide for ourselves, our loved ones, and our friends, and our family, and our associates, we've been able to continuously elevate and evolve as not just an individual, but as a group and a people in the community as well.
Why don't you think more students get a chance to travel internationally while they are still in school? Why do you think that?
Honestly, because I feel as if we're not necessarily aware of the opportunity to do so. You know, a lot of people within our communities, we have been limited to our neighborhoods or down the street or a couple hour drive away. And some people not even that far, you know, and it's imperative for us to be able to actually expand our minds, get away a little bit from home in regards of a collegiate career. Now, you have to do what's best for you. But even then, when it comes to being an in-state student, you know, let's say if you are from Florida, you know, and you're from Tallahassee, go down to Daytona Beach and go to Bethune-Cookman. I'm not even gonna throw shade at them, Bethune-Cookman University, and just be able to evolve as an individual and thrive within a space that's going to pour into you in ways that the world wouldn't. While the world tries to take away, a HBCU will pour in and contribute greatness in regards of who you are and what you can be able to represent yourself as. So I feel as if a lot of people are not necessarily aware of the opportunities to travel, which is the reasons why they are limited to the capabilities of knowing how and why to do so.
Well, let's bring in Heaven as well. Heaven, what's your take on this? What do you feel? What do you feel that students should travel internationally while they're in college? How do you feel about that?
Yes, I know a few students at Morgan State that do the travel and study abroad programs. I believe that all Black Americans, especially, we definitely deserve to, you know, get a different feel of things, go outside of the country, travel different states. I love a good HBCU tour, but a global HBCU tour, it's different.
You know, I feel like I'm going to concur with Deuce was saying that there's a world outside the university. There's a world outside of, I think people get so stuck in, you know, I'm the biggest, baddest person on campus, right? When you get into the real world, no one's going to care, you know, in a way. So I feel like it's good to get some real life experiences before you get into your career. Especially a lot of these opportunities be free. And you can only use these. And Deuce, you probably could elaborate on that. Can you elaborate, you know, how, as an alumni, because you're an alumni, I'm not clowning you, I'm just saying, as an alumni, how important it is to take advantage of free opportunities while in college?
Well, honestly, it's essential to the growth of who you are as a person, man, woman, whomever. A lot of people are so stuck within, oh yeah, you know, I have to go to this party, or I have to, you know, be with my friends. This 8 to 12 weeks, I'm gonna be gone from them while everybody's having such a great time. It's gonna be a catastrophe. However, that's the wrong mindset to specifically have. Think about it, you have 4 years to be able to indulge within the academic excellence, the brilliance, as well as the intelligent factors when it comes to your constituents. But sometimes you only might have that one window where you're able to travel the world, to Spain, to Europe, you know, to South Africa, to South America, and be able to actually obtain the knowledge and wisdom that other established communities have been able to contribute to their people. And you are able to actually receive that opportunity to bring it back to your people. It's all about sharing, and knowledge is essential to the point of you being able to contribute in a way that most are not. That's why knowledge is so important. That's how it contributes from knowledge to wisdom. So it's very imperative, and it's free. Like, don't be, you know what I'm saying? Actually think and consider, you know? So I definitely think that's something that should be taken more seriously and promoted more as well. I feel as if when it comes to a lot of schools, we see it maybe in our emails, but you know, sometimes students, we got 10, 30 emails a day in their Outlook. So it's important for us to be able to share that in regards of the way when it comes to our conversations with our peers and our associates and teachers as well.
Heaven, you are, you know, as the midst of your university, you get opportunity to travel, you know, and all that jazz. And sometimes it's free. I don't know how universities do it now. Different universities have different budgets, so I don't want to say you go for free and stuff. But talk about the importance of traveling. The importance of networking. Why is that so important? Not just on your campus to travel, but go around the country and eventually around the country and then internationally.
Thank you for that question. I think it's really important. Like Deuce mentioned, to experience different cultures. Me being a first generation American and HBCU scholar, I am Jamaican, so Caribbean girls run it, Caribbean stand up. So I feel like being well versed in different cultures and backgrounds, even in the workplace, when you bring that experience back, you understand how to work better with people, especially when you're working within group settings. So traveling as Miss Cheyney University of Pennsylvania, even just traveling to NASAP, I got to meet so many different student leaders from across the nation, but also they were able to share their experiences from outside of America. For example, my SQ, Kimberly, Miss Edward Waters University, I absolutely love her. She's always on tour. So just being able to hear about her different experiences over in Asia and just overseas opportunities from different career fields. I want to go into fashion and beauty, if you guys couldn't tell. And I am very interested in being a travel with marketing. So you can do finance overseas, you can do marketing overseas, you can do all types of technical, even with Howard, being able to do band overseas. These are opportunities that we just don't think of, and I think there are, of course, the real reality of situations, there are financial barriers. So when you catch those opportunities and resources, especially while you're in undergrad, I think it's very important. Because I know, Deuce, after post-grad, I'm going on tour. But right now, I think I would love
to. Like Beyonce, let me get some tickets.
I would love to study abroad. So
I know that's right. All right, back to you guys. Thank you, guys.
Angela Raise the Ceiling is a top.
Well, thank you to Shamai, our amazing guest, and just for everyone being able to just contribute and give this wisdom when it comes to being an impactful night here at Historically Black Sense News.
Yes, keep showing love to your HBCUs. Stay inspired, and remember, we are the culture, and we are the legacy.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time. Same energy. Stay black, stay brilliant.
Good night, fam.
Good night.
HBCU.